Today I'm going to do two shoots. There's 3 artists moving in tomorrow, so this whole studio space is going to be a little more occupied. And right now I'm just stealing someone else's corner. But I've set up this situation. And I don't know, I just had this idea last night. Well, actually I had this image a few months ago in Korea of slashes, like slashes in a paper. And last night I thought it'd be really cool if I had that paper in front of this, so when you slash it you see the red through the paper, and perhaps like me stepping in through it or something. I'm not really sure what it means, but that's the case of most of my work. There's this section in the studio where artists have left their previous stuff from their residency, so I found these cool paper here. And in the meantime, thinking of using this sort of like parchment paper situation. And it's a little bit transparent. I don't know about this brown, but for the color grading of the photo, I was thinking of making it a little bit more desaturated anyways, except for the red. So I don't think this will be a huge issue. It'll be more of like a neutral tone in the photo. I just don't really know what exactly I have in mind for this image, and that's usually the case of most of my photos. But in situations like this where you have to prepare in advance, you want to sort of know what you're doing, because this isn't something where it's like in nature, it's like, oh, I can just shoot it over and over again, but this actually requires material and I don't want to waste material. I haven't really been able to vlog during the shoot. Not really sure if I want to, because I feel like it's already a big step for me to vlog sort of like this behind the scene footage. And for me, that kind of sacred, I guess you could say, because I don't want, I really don't want people to see like before and afters of a photo. I don't want people to see the negatives. I don't want it to ruin the image that the final image that you have. And it's not that I care about the process or like seeing the photo before and after. It's more that I want people to see the image every time as if they've seen it for the first time. I feel like if you were to see an exact video of me shooting myself, or like the exact process of maybe like someone filming me, it might ruin the fantasy and it'll make you feel disenchanted, I guess. Me being nude in front of the camera is more like me as an actor. But if it's like me filming behind the scenes of me being nude, that's just kind of, I feel like it's too private to record, especially with showing myself nude on camera, or in the resulting photos. That's more of like an artistic statement. But I wouldn't be okay just like flashing my boobs here and whatever, because that's more of a personal thing. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but I just want to be careful because people are gonna watch this and I don't want people to get the wrong idea. So right now I'm going to set up the paper. I'm going to get in the shower, get my hair wet, and then, I don't know, just start taking photos, I guess, and do it before it gets dark. Right now it is 4 p.m. and maybe it'll get dark around like 8, so I have plenty of time, but it's been really cloudy nowadays, and I don't know, the clouds just come and go and it blocks the light, so we'll see. But I'll check in with you later. So I finished this shoot, and this is how this paper turned out. Didn't quite whip it all through, but let's just hope that it came out all right. I randomly decided that it would be cool to get a photo of me across these two, what do you call it? I don't remember, plywood pieces, shooting down under up top. And I have this ladder set up for me to climb over. This is probably one of the weirdest things I've done. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen, but there's a towel for me to focus on while I climb under here. I have 10 seconds to press this, climb here, go up, and all the way across. So, honestly, we'll just have to see what happens. So I just wrapped up this shoot where I'm just completely red in this background here. Last time I did this shoot for my series, Compositions of an Artist in Red, I had a friend, Stephanie, from, we met in high school. She helped me, and we just woke up at like 4 a.m., painted me, drove to the beach, drove to the mountains, and it was just a lot easier because she was there to help me and just make sure, you know, I wasn't getting everything around me all red and painted. But this time I'm just on my own. It's okay because I'm in a studio space, so I'm not outdoors, I'm not worried if people are gonna see me, but it's just still difficult because it's paint and you just want to be careful with your things. Like, I just don't want to get my camera, I don't want to ruin this studio space that I'm in, so I have all this stuff on the floor to make sure I won't get it there. I do have to figure out the shower situation because last time I just showered at in my parents' shower, which has like walls, and it made sure I wasn't getting paint everywhere. But these showers in this house don't have walls, they're just open showers, so I'm just gonna have to be super careful. I thought a lot about what I want to say in my Red series, and I think last time it was a little bit rushed. I'm happy with some of the photos, but I feel like it could be better. So with works like that, I feel like it's important to always have iterations of your work and not just have you make one piece and that's your final piece forever. I think art is always about iteration and doing something until you can make it better and better and better. And in this case, this isn't really a recreation of that series, but maybe it's just like or another series that's related to it, or it's just like part of the series. I don't know, I'm just fascinated by this idea of paint in the background and the human body being a sculpture and being a piece of art. So those are sort of the themes I'm playing with, but I'm just not really sure what it means right now. I sort of have an idea, but it'll come together the more I shoot. I thought maybe now is a good time to catch up because I'm always on the move, but I want to just sit and chat with everybody or whoever's watching this. Long story short, I started photography when I was around 11, and I basically just took my mom's point and shoot camera and just started taking photos with it. And I took photos everywhere, like when I was in China, when I was traveling in Europe. And that's more so when I was just taking photos of the environment around me. And at one point, I just started taking pictures of myself. Cause just, you know, that's when I think selfies started happening when I was maybe 11 or 12. And then I joined this online community called Flickr, and there was this really popular photographer called Rosie Hardy, and she was doing the 365, which is where you take one self-portrait every day for a whole year. And I was kind of, I wouldn't say depressed, maybe mildly depressed, but I just needed something to do with my life. I needed a creative outlet. Even though I had other stuff going on, like I was in theater, I was probably writing. Yeah, I was writing a lot back then. I just wanted to do photography because it was something I always thought about. Growing up, I wanted to be a writer first and foremost. I wanted to be a writer. I don't think I'm a very good writer, but I spent most of my time just writing. I spent hours doing that. And then I wanted to be a fashion designer. I spent years doing this, and so anyways, I picked up the camera and I started taking a portrait every day for a year. And eventually my mom and I had an agreement where I think she would buy me a DSLR. It was a Canon Rebel XSI. It had no video capability, just photos. I think I paid for maybe half of it or like a third of it or something. I think it was around $450, including kit lens. And then I spent $100, bought my own 50mm 1.8. And I'm just following the footsteps of everyone in Flickr. Back then, it was more of a community where a lot of people just really support each other, looked at each other's work. And a lot of the popular photographers now, Olivia B., Eleanor Hardwick, Mike Bailey Gates, Lauren Withrow, they all started on Flickr around the same time I was. And at that time, I went by the name Jenasa, Jenasa. Unfortunately, the website taken down, so that's why I came up with Jasuna. More on that later. So I started doing photography. And I was sort of still doing photography in college. I needed money, so I did it as a way of for a source of income. But I don't think I really found my style. I don't really think I found anything that was like, oh, I have to do this. And I stopped taking self-portraits because, school and architecture. I studied architecture for 4 years at Berkeley. And once I went abroad in Denmark, I sort of realized that I didn't want to be in that environment where it was just so hard to be successful in that term. And I realized I didn't want to be sitting at a desk, just on AutoCAD all day. So I realized, well, I got a job in graphic design because I did love graphic design. I still do love graphic design. But I realized, I'm too young to just choose something and keep going with it, because I think for graphic design you want to go up and up and up, but in my heart I just knew I wanted to be an artist. I knew I wanted to just make things that express who I am as a person. And though I love graphic design, I just feel like it doesn't express, it's not the vehicle which can it's not the vehicle that allows me to express what I want. I think it can be if I kept pursuing it, but I knew that photography is what I have to pursue.